A rookie cop captures a murderer on her body cam.
Relax. Where you going? Put the gun down. These are bad guys. This is not what it seems.
Now hunted by corrupt officers and ruthless criminals. She must stay alive long enough to reveal the truth. The movie starts in New Orleans, where Alicia West is out for a morning run. During her jog, she gets stopped by two police officers. Confused and unsure why, she follows their orders to stand against a wall. The officers believe she matches the description of someone they're looking for. However, they soon realize she's a fellow officer, and one of them quickly apologizes. Alicia is upset, but not surprised, as she's dealt with this kind of unfair treatment before. She continues her run and ends up visiting her mother's grave in a nearby cemetery. Later, Alicia starts her workday with her partner, Kevin Jennings. As Kevin prepares, Alicia teases him for taking his time. They drive through Kingston, the neighborhood where Alicia grew up, before joining the army. Kevin makes a comment about the people there, saying they're all troublemakers, but Alicia disagrees, insisting they're just unfortunate. Kevin then points out that the locals won't even reach out to the police unless there's an emergency involving another officer. Needing a break, Kevin stops at a convenience store that had been robbed the day before. The store owner asks Kevin about it, but he dismisses the concern, saying the police never got the report. Outside the store, Alicia chats with a young boy named Jamal. His mother, Missy, used to be friends with Alicia, but things changed once Alicia became a cop. When Alicia reminds Missy who she is, Missy pretends not to recognize her and quickly leaves. A gang member then tries to provoke Alicia, but backs off once he sees Kevin. The officers head into the store, which is owned by Missy's brother, Mouse. He's distant towards Alicia, clearly not thrilled with her being a police officer, but still lets them take what they need without charge. At the station, the captain enters the locker room and informs Kevin that he needs him to cover an extra shift. However, Kevin already has plans for a date night, so Alicia is reassigned to ride with Deacon Brown, an experienced officer. Their first call takes them to a disturbance at a nightclub. While Alicia is trying to arrest one person, Brown notices someone else sneaking up on her, ready to attack.
Why are you throwing punches, sir?
I ain't throwing no punches, Miss O. I ain't throwing no, I swear, no punches. I'm trying to have a good time.
Alicia talking to a guy. Brown grabs the suspect, slamming him against the car and drawing his gun. Alicia tries to de-escalate, but Brown shows her the suspect's weapon. After the arrest, they take a coffee break, where Brown warns Alicia that the neighborhood won't support her, especially because she's a cop. They're interrupted by an urgent call, and they quickly leave the diner. The next day, Brown takes Alicia to a warehouse, telling her to stay in the car. While waiting, Alicia spots a possible drug deal and steps out to investigate. Hearing a gunshot from the warehouse, she rushes in and finds Brown with detectives Malone and Smitty interrogating Zero with two dead bodies nearby. Zero reveals the detectives' corruption before Malone executes him. Alicia's body cam records everything, but Smitty fires at her, causing her to fall through the floor.
Just relax. Where you going? Put the gun down. These are bad guys. This is not what it seems. Just relax.
Realizing that Alicia's body cam could expose them, the men scramble to find her. Fortunately for Alicia, the bullet hit her vest, so she survived. Though she's injured, she manages to get up and start running. But in her haste, she's unharmed, having dropped her gun. She hides behind a wall and retrieves her weapon, all while the men try to convince her to give up. They insist all they want is the body cam. Alicia stays quiet and tries to call for backup, but Malone intercepts the call, manipulating the story to make it sound like she overreacted. Ignoring their demands, Alicia escapes and they start chasing her through the streets. Desperate for help, Alicia knocks on doors in the neighborhood, but no one is willing to assist her because she's a cop. With Smitty and Brown closing in, she's forced to keep running. Malone shows up, frustrated that they've lost her. Eventually, Alicia encounters Officer Doyle, who seems like he's going to help, but she overhears a radio message revealing that Doyle and his partner are working with Malone. Once again, Alicia flees, searching the neighborhood for help, but nobody will take the risk. She finally makes it to Mouse's shop, where she tells him she's been shot. Mouse is startled by the blood and urges her to leave, as there are police outside. When Alicia reveals it was the police who shot her, Mouse is shocked. Meanwhile, Malone and the others figure out where Alicia is hiding and plan to come after her. Alicia contacts Kevin and tells him she's witnessed a murder and has everything recorded on her body cam. At this point, Doyle and his partner arrive at Mouse's shop. Doyle pretends to be helping, but admits he called the others. However, he changes his mind and decides to assist Alicia, telling her to hide while he confronts Mouse. Doyle begins to intimidate Mouse, and his partner checks Mouse's ID and background. Even though the partner discovers Mouse's criminal history, he keeps it to himself, and the officers leave without further issue. Before they go, Doyle warns Mouse that wasting police time is a crime. Mouse suggests Alicia needs to go to the hospital, but she refuses, knowing it's not safe. Instead, she opts to patch up her wounds with glue. Mouse asks what she plans to do with the evidence, and Alicia firmly tells him she intends to expose the corrupt officers. Mouse offers Alicia his car and gives her a jacket to cover her police uniform, suggesting she just hand over the body cam to the officers to avoid any trouble. However, Alicia refuses, determined to stand her ground and do what's right. Alicia drives to meet Kevin, who immediately notices her injuries and suggests they go to the hospital. But Alicia insists on uploading the video from her body cam first. As she explains her situation, she mentions bringing internal affairs into the case. Kevin accidentally reveals his knowledge by referring to Malone by name, even though Alicia had only mentioned narcotics officers in general. This tips her off to the fact that Kevin is involved in the corruption. Sensing the danger, she grabs her gun before Kevin can react and questions him, but he refuses to give her straight answers. Eventually, he admits that they skim off the top of drug busts, selling half of the drugs and splitting the money. Before the conversation can go further, a police car arrives and Kevin tries to grab her gun. Alicia fights back, slams the car into reverse, crashing into the vehicle behind them, and manages to escape, continuing her run. She eventually makes her way to Mouse's apartment and tells him she has nowhere else to go. At this moment, Jamal shows up, but Mouse sends him inside, not wanting him to get involved. Mouse agrees to shelter Alicia in his place. As they talk, Mouse asks where her partner is, and Alicia explains what happened. She also mentions Zero's name, which Mouse recognizes. The next morning, Captain Regina arrives at the scene where Malone is already spinning a false narrative. He tells her that Alicia killed 3 men and fled, making it sound like she's gone rogue. One of the men, Malone points out, was the nephew of Kingston Crew's boss, Darius Tyrell. He warns Regina that if the gang finds Alicia, they will kill her. Soon after, Darius himself shows up and meets with Malone, revealing they are working together. Darius demands to see Zero's body, and when Malone shows him, Darius becomes emotional. Malone lies again, claiming that Alicia went on a rampage, shooting Zero and his friends before fleeing. Furious, Darius orders his men to hunt Alicia down and kill her. Darius then spreads the word that Alicia is responsible for Zero's death, and even Jamal sees the message. Meanwhile, Kevin meets up with Smitty, Malone, and Brown. Malone is furious that they let Alicia escape, and, in his rage, pulls a gun on Kevin. Panicked, Kevin blurts out that Alicia has a friend at the store, referring to Mouse, giving away her possible location. Malone and Smitty head back to the convenience store to check the security footage, hoping to catch proof of Mouse helping Alicia. Meanwhile, back at Mouse's apartment, Jamal sneaks into Alicia's room with a gun. However, Alicia is quick to react, drawing her own gun on him in self-defense. The tense standoff is interrupted when Mouse rushes in and stops Jamal. Jamal shows him what Darius sent to everyone. She killed Zero.
What are you doing, bruh?
She killed Zero. Look.
Malone and Smitty arrived at Mouse's apartment. Mouse attempted to help Alicia escape, but Darius's men caught up to them. In the confrontation, they managed to take down 2 of the attackers, but more were on the way. Realizing he had been shot in the leg, Mouse urged Alicia to flee. He told her to head to a church where he knew the pastor, promising to meet her there. Alicia took his advice and escaped, while Mouse was left behind. Eventually captured by the thugs, Under Darius's orders, Mouse was tortured for information about Alicia's whereabouts. Before making her way to Darius's place, Alicia recorded a statement on her body cam and hid it in a secure spot. As she approached the complex, she was met with mocking and thrown bottles. Once inside, Darius launched a brutal attack on her. Alicia quickly informs him about the body camera, and they all head over together. Back at the house, Missy, Darius's girlfriend, has a brief conversation with Alicia. She expresses her frustration and points out that despite the different paths they've taken, they aren't as different as Alicia might think. Once they locate the body cam, Darius instructs his other nephew to figure out a way to handle the situation. Meanwhile, Malone instructs his crew to kill Alicia. Darius's nephew successfully uploads the footage to a computer, providing undeniable evidence that Malone is responsible for Zero's death. At that moment, a group of officers arrives at the house and opens fire on them.
Where'd Missy go?
Fire exchange. Darius confronts Malone over his betrayal, leading to a violent clash where Malone ends up shooting and killing Darius. When they arrive at their next target, Malone kills Brown. Meanwhile, Smitty crosses paths with Alicia, but she takes him down with a fatal shot to the head. Mouse, managing to evade the officers by wearing a police jacket, makes his way to the station, where he plans to upload the body cam footage to the police network. Alicia catches up to Malone and tackles him off a balcony, both landing on a car below. She begins to beat him with an iron rod as onlookers from the neighborhood witness the scene. Missy, watching the confrontation, pulls a gun on Alicia. However, Alicia disarms her. At that moment, a SWAT team surrounds Alicia, their weapons drawn as she holds a gun on Malone. At the same time, Mouse is cornered by Doyle at gunpoint, but the footage successfully uploads just in time. Alicia is ordered to drop her weapon, and Hackett, upon seeing the murder footage back at the station, instructs her officers to stand down, announcing Alicia's innocence. As tensions ease, Malone tries to make one final move to kill Alicia, but Kevin shoots him before he can succeed. Mouse manages to overpower Doyle, knocking him out with his own gun. Malone and Kevin are taken into custody, and Alicia and Missy share a moment of reconciliation, embracing in a hug. Later, Malone is formally charged with the murders. Alicia returns to jogging near the cemetery, where she runs into Mouse. She expresses her gratitude for him saving her life, but Mouse tells her she was the one who saved him. He kisses her on the forehead as a gesture of thanks. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to our channel. Thanks for